All right, let's try this again. I just had to delete my fucking first 4 minutes of the episode because I went off on a tangent about how I hate my job and I don't like what they're doing right now. But it was good to externalize that. I think it is really healthy for me to do this. And then I do have the ability to just kind of like say what I need. It's like yelling in the woods. It's soothing. It's real nice to be able to have the outlet, like even if I don't have to share it with the world, because I don't want to come off as like an extremely angry person. Ultimately, I'm not an angry person. I just hate dealing with idiots. And I hate dealing with people that don't mind taking advantage of you to your fucking face and then like just belittling you at an opportune moment just when you're like, there's no fucking way for me to even come back at you. It's just not right, and it's not cool. And you know who you are, you know what you did. I don't need to fucking get into the specificity. I have to delete this thing a second time. But yeah, it just felt good. It felt good to fucking like really cut loose on this thing. So yeah, we're gonna watch a movie today, and I have no like I think I need to backtrack a little bit because I listened to the They Live one while I was editing it, and I wanted to say that like I know that nobody fucking listens to this. It's like everybody just listens to the ones with me and Jake, the Blacktooth ones, and that's fine. I completely understand. I know I'm just talking to myself. This is like some weird egotistic thing, and it's fine. I'd rather do this than be like just an angry, internalized person just compulsively like exercising and being bizarre, like weirder than I already am. So I just like, I do want to say that I enjoy these, but the They Live one, I love that movie so fucking much, but it was really ultimately just like a platform for me to kind of spurg out and fucking like go into some weird tangents about like my opinions on things. And this ultimately is a podcast about my opinions on things, but it should be more of a, focused, more centric on my opinions about movies. And ultimately, I set out to do this with having movies that I've never seen, just so that you can get my fresh take on them. You can get like you don't have to like try and fit a paradigm of like Letterboxd where you can get censored or IMDb where you're just going to get downvoted like into oblivion. Like if you really genuinely want to be a film critic, I highly recommend doing this. Or you could just be a crazy person, stand out on the fucking street corner and shout about movies you've seen. I try to talk about fucking movies with as many people as I can. My boy Mike just came through. He fucking shot the shit for a minute. He was telling me about how he just watched Mystic River the other day. He was like, yeah, I got a lot to talk about. A few things that hung me up, and I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna have to watch Mystic River again. It's a good movie. I love me some Kevin Bacon. Everybody's connected to him by 7 degrees, from what I understand. But I digress. So yeah, I'm watching a movie that I haven't seen. I think it's called Out of Time. I'm not entirely I already forget. It's a direct to Prime movie, from what I understand, or like a Prime original. And I'll be damned, Amazon Prime, you do have some fucking hidden gems out there. You got they have like a kind of like a broader selection of shit, whereas like Netflix, everything kind of fits this like certain like it's either like a raunchy adult animated thing or kind of is like something that's like in the middle where it's like you could like watch it with your teenagers or like I don't know, it's going for this weird dynamic, whereas Amazon is just kind of like, we have a shitload of movies and like a lot of bad ones too, so we're gonna just drop these willy-nilly, and you can find what you want. And sure enough, like every now and then I do find like a real hidden gem. I watched The Bad Lieutenant the other night. God damn, that movie is terrifying, but it was really good. It was really, really interesting. You get to see Harvey Keitel's cock for a good minute, and I was definitely way too high to be fucking processing that at the moment, so I was like just giggling my balls off, fucking laughing at fucking Harvey Keitel, like all doped up, fucking dancing around, fucking butt ass naked. Interesting fucking movie though. It was very well done. Kind of has that like fucking French Connection feel. I watched that recently too. That, and I saw the OG Taking a Pelham 1-2-3 is on fucking Prime. Got a lot of good movies to go through. I watched Invasion of the Body Snatchers last night too, and like these are all movies like I've kind of seen but like never like actually seen, but they're good. That's why I want to like not talk about them. That's why I want to talk about Out of Time. So the whole reason I'm watching this movie is because I had a bad day at work. Everybody has a bad day at work. Doesn't mean I'm going to walk out and quit, but it does mean I'm going to come home and take it out on myself. So I've just been doing pull-ups and smoking weed. And I threw a pizza in. I'm going to munch on some pizza. Fucking nice little fucking movie night. It's Friday. Friday's pizza day. You're allowed to have a little fun with that. I think that's how I cut loose. I don't know. I think I'm having a problem with like having fun. I don't know how to have fun anymore. Like everything I do is just like work. Like the things that bring me joy are like I found out what I'm gonna get my dad for Christmas because he gave me the go ahead. He gave me the green light on it, and I get to put another TV wall mount in my house. So I think I'm gonna get like 2 of them and like put one up here so I have a nice big like flat screen to stare at while I'm doing these, and I can kind of like come up here, watch movies, and chill, smoke some weed. I have another TV in this room too, but it's not an HD. I don't have a Blu-ray player that's compatible with it because it's like the first HD TV they ever fucking made. It's like literally not even flat. It's just a big honking like 220 pound fucking Philips, I think. Sony. Nah, Sony's the DVD player. Yeah, it's a big honker though. It's fucking not like, it doesn't have an HDMI cord. It's like before HDMI there was like these like weird red, blue, green, and then like your regular white, yellow, red cables, but they were like different, and you put them in the back instead of the front. It's bizarre. I don't understand how it worked either. I think you need like some kind of HD splitter too for it, but I digress. That's what brings me joy now is like fucking doing things. I hate that like I enjoy Cumtown so much because I don't want to be Nick Mullen. I think that that's not like a good way to go through life, but at the same time it's it's kind of who I identify with. But like, yeah, power tools and fucking like being like in my own little fucking world right now, playing poker and fucking like building things, like being like semi-productive. It's the only thing that's got me going. Everybody has a bad day at work and I can't really cut loose, so this is helping. This really does. This soothes me. It's like, I know this is just a bunch of mental illness that's uncorking on fucking mic, so enjoy it. Enjoy it for what it's worth. You get to see a man unravel over the course of 42 episodes. I can't believe I made it to 42, too. I think I should give myself one of these bad boys. Yeah, a little bit of that. No worry, I got like 2 minutes before I have to go downstairs and get my pizza. I'm going to fucking, I'll find a way to foul up this bullshit. But I'm having fun with this. I just am like, I'm trying to, pace it out. I'm trying to watch things that I haven't seen before. So I just have like, fresh eyes on something that I can give like my honest 2 cents on, be a little like, film school analytical. I've seen good films before and I know what they are. I'm taking a chance. I'm taking a gamble on this. I like that I took a gamble on that Plan B film too, which not really a film, but it was like that movie on Hulu. Like I'm glad that like I overheard a conversation at Wawa and was like, you know what? I'm sure there's a minority contingent of people out there that are absolutely down to like hear what someone says at Wawa and be like, yeah, I'll go watch that. And sure enough, I was that person that night, and I hated the movie, but like I'm glad I at least like took a risk. It's like, hey, word of mouth still to a certain extent exists. Like I'm happy for that. I also did not go see The Green Knight based upon Shane Gillis's analysis of it, but it'll be out on video on demand soon. I'll be fucking doing a review of that bullshit. It sounds boring. A24, you make good movies, but once in a while you get a little too fucking full of yourselves. Stick to making like cool, creepy shit. Like let Ari Aster do his thing. You don't need to go for fucking woke nights. Like that doesn't need to be a fucking thing. I never saw the movie, by the way. This is pure speculation. So I'm probably completely putting my foot in my mouth right now. But see, this is what it is. This is what this podcast is supposed to be. This is the spirit of what I'm doing. I'm supposed to just like have a completely learned off fucking basis opinion on something before I even see it, and then be like, yeah, I was completely wrong about that. So all right, I got like a minute left. Yeah, let's get into it. I am watching this movie called I believe it's called Out of Time, and it's marketed as a movie about like Area 51 aliens, somehow time traveling, and it fucks some guy's day up in a weird way. That means my pizza's ready, but I got another couple seconds, so I'm going to just put that on hold. And so it's about aliens going through time. And it looks like really schlocky, really cheesy, but like I like the premise so much that I want to give it a chance. I'm sure it's no communion or come onion. Yeah. Give myself that because come onion just makes me giggle. But yeah, I figured I'd take a chance on it just because that subject matter piques my interest. One of these days I'll get to the McPherson tape because I got a lot to say about that. But like that's a different idea for a different episode. I think I'm gonna go eat this pie and fucking try to come back a little more centered. But without further ado, we are watching Out of Touch or Out of Time, whatever the fuck movie we're watching. We're watching the one about aliens on Prime, and I'll tell you, it isn't like that one. No. No. There we go. No. Okay. All right. I do not have a boo button. It's not getting the applause. I'm not even going anywhere near that button right now. Maybe just one of those. I think that's what it deserves. Out of Time. Good fucking Lord, that was bad. That was so fucking bad. That was so bad that I had to double check I wasn't accidentally watching Space Cop. I didn't actually do that, but wow. That was... I don't really get to yawn on mic, but yeah, that hurt me. That hurt me. I have no idea who the fuck Matt Hanley is, but he deserves to have his fucking Matt Hanley's chopped off so he can't fucking make another piece of shit like this. Let's just dive right into this one. Fuck. Sure. Yeah. So this film, the most interesting part of this movie was the stock footage they used during the title crawl, where they interspliced for whatever reason with actual like wartime like bomb and it seems like some kind of acoustics testing, but like there's like bomb testing, there was acoustics testing, then there was like a little UFO that they made, the little flying saucer thingy. Yeah, that was the most interesting part of this movie. And I'm not even fucking kidding you. This movie makes no fucking sense. It makes absolute... So, I was marketed this film as, a team of LA detectives are on the hunt for possible UFO and aliens or something that travel through time. And, yeah, all of that is like the least important thing in this film. And I'm not even talking about story-wise. Like, story-wise, it's very heavily, like, heavily necessary for all of those things to exist. But it's not because those are the important things in the plot. The important things in the plot are... I have no idea, actually. I was gonna go for the joke. I was gonna say eating sandwiches, because there, for whatever reason, is two scenes where the police lady, I believe her character's name was Lisa, and I think the other guy's name was Cooper. I'm pretty sure those were the names. I have no idea at this point. Then you have 3 aliens, and then you have a bunch of people that don't believe... Oh, and you have a cheating boyfriend guy that also she works with. And then Lieutenant something or other. Yeah, every step of this movie is complete total nonsense. So not only was the stock footage in the beginning the most interesting part of the film, it was probably what they spent most of the budget on, unless they had to pay royalties to Google for using the Google search engine. So this film is clearly like an indie film. Not indie film in the sense that it's like an independent film that's like worthy of taking to Sundance or something. It's like, no, this was something that somebody shot in probably 2 weeks as a fucking pet project. It has the feeling of like one of those 24-hour film festival films, but is somehow stretched out into the length of a feature. There's non-existent, like everything about it is just you go from point A to point B to point C to point D to point E to point, yeah, like it just, every little step of the way, it kind of tries to like bend the space-time continuum a little bit, like in both the beginning and the end. The film touches on like how time paradoxes exist, even though the thing that the guy used in the first place is what he uses at the end in the same way, I think. And like, I don't care to go back and try and figure out if they're right, because regardless, they're all wrong. And even if they are right, then that was the most painstakingly stupid way of telling me that that's actually how like time kind of works. But I don't think they got any of that right. Like, or if so, it's so oversimplified, it's to like a detriment. I don't. Yeah, they're. Oh. So. I thought the aliens were going to be like a little more alien-y. They're just kind of this like CGI shit that flies out of each. I guess how, I don't think it's fair how bored I was by this movie, but it was so boring and so stupid that I needed to kind of finish it because it was incredibly dumb. Like, I haven't been this like dumbfounded with how stupid a movie was since that Luc Besson movie Mark made me watch called Valerium. City of a Thousand Planets. Yeah, that film is probably borderline like like Shrek and Star Wars had a baby. This wasn't either of those things. This was just a bad fucking movie. But okay. It has the 24-hour film feel to it because it feels like every plot point just services the immediate next plot point. Even when there is like kind of plot A and kind of plot B going on, they both gravitate towards satiating, finishing the previous idea. It's a film about fucking time travel and about aliens. It doesn't really fixate too much on the aliens, so you might as well try and fixate on the time travel a little bit. The only thing that's kind of cool is that for whatever I've got maybe 13 minutes left. Let's just try and crack this open. So, this lady is a detective for the Los Angeles County Police. Sure, I believe it. She works solo. Let's just pretend like police don't have to work in teams. You know, checks, balances, safety, all those reasons. Now, police are allowed to work solo in this fucking neck of the woods. So she works solo, but she somehow gets assigned a project with a guy who just barges in and asks for an agent. Like, okay, but that's, I guess, his past self. And furthermore, the only objective this lady's job seems to be is tracking down the same old guy several times, who just wanders off. I guess he's looking for the Cooper guy, but he doesn't ever have the means to go find him. Yeah, there's just like, it's just one of those ones where like everything that could have been cool about this movie, especially with it being low budget, just kind of comes off like Space Cop, and it's like, but it's trying to be something that it's not. It tries to shoehorn a love story in there between the time traveling guy and the lady cop. It tries to make the alien, because it bit off more than it could chew by saying that this is a film about aliens and UFOs. It's not about aliens and UFOs. It's about the idea of aliens and UFOs. But the idea of it is very fucking extremely stupid. Aliens are for some odd reason resentful and stranded on Earth. Even though they're here to try and kill a gray alien, they have a vengeance against the humans. I don't understand why, but sure, why the fuck not? They came here to kill a gray that crashed at Roswell, but for whatever reason they harbor ill will towards man and want nothing to do with this planet, but also don't seem to be having the means to like, I don't know, like get off the planet. If I'm not or not, I guess they need a vessel, so they need a body. But if they were to signal their planet, because they try to get a rocket first, they try to leave, but then they realize they can't use it. So then the next idea is to signal their planet, where they're just going to kamikaze themselves because they hate Earth. They're so spiteful that they're just going to take themselves out. Yeah, that makes sense. Or, I don't know. The logic of this film is fucking retarded. And I use that, I really think that Matt Handley, or whatever the fuck he is, whatever Matt Handjob, whoever the fuck made this fucking movie, you really need to go get yourself checked for Down syndrome, possibly in a mirror, or throw yourself down a flight of stairs and see how you feel. Try chewing on a wallet, it's a belt buckle. I don't fucking, you really suck at making movies. Don't do it anymore. You save everybody some time. Just stop trying. Just go kill yourself and, pretend like this never happened. This film hurt me. This film made it seem like so. I think I've already mentioned this before. I wrote a screenplay while I was really bored in Louisiana. I wrote 6 episodes of a sitcom that I want to make. And as dumb as it is, and as weird as my fucking writing style is, I am not embarrassed by that. I am not embarrassed by this podcast either. I mean, it's stupid. I know it's futile. It's probably me masking other problems by doing this. Kind of like, writing out of the blue an entire fucking season of a sitcom. But I'm not ashamed of those things. Mind you, with minimal, and I'm talking minimal effort, I could easily make something that is visually, artistically, and narratively superior to this fucking movie. The logic of this movie is non-existent. Anybody giving a shit in this movie is non-existent. I think it's my favorite character had to be the black guy when the aliens keep changing fucking vessels and they go to the black guy. The black guy just keeps laughing. And you kind of catch it, and they had to edit around it a couple of times. And I noticed that it was no, you could. There's no fucking way he could have been taking this seriously, and clearly wasn't. He did not. He's just yeah, all right. So you guys are aliens, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna sync your thoughts up. Now, even though you guys have this weird telepathic, telekinetic kind of thing going on, and you're aware of it, you don't know what each other look like because the vessel keeps changing, but your spirit force is identical, and it just is. Sure, why the fuck not? But yeah, that's it just is. It's a fucking frustrating mess. I am okay. Another fucking thing, there's not really anything I can really say that I enjoyed about this film, other than that it's very accessible, and I could probably make something in an afternoon that this would have been fine as a short film. Here's a little tip to all you filmmakers out there, and as someone that was a student filmmaker and suffers from student filmmaker syndrome, which everybody does. It takes you a few fucking films, especially if you're trying for features, to ice it out. But there's some fundamental things that you need to do. You need what I think happened here was this guy walked past this really quirky electronics shop one day and was like, oh yeah, I could probably make a movie where someone has to come here and he's a time traveler, and he needs to use a piece of this component, a component from this workshop or radio transmitter shop, some fucking random ass place. He needs to either prevent something from happening or do something, but he's a time traveler, and it's integral that he has to come to this place. And then the daydream kind of snowballs into a full-fledged idea. All right, well, what if he's hunting down aliens, and what if those aliens actually are the ones that need to come here, and he just needs to come here because he's surveilling the aliens? This is turning into a plot. Let's take the idea, write it down narrative style on loose leaf paper or on your laptop or whatever, however you feel comfortable doing it. Write the entirety of the story down and compartmentalize it into the pertinent parts. And then everything else that's not a pertinent part of the story, just get rid of. The love story, get rid of it. the fucking subplot with the aliens stealing bodies pointlessly. Just get rid of it. You can use the same 3 actors, actresses. It keeps a familiarity. Doesn't really add anything to the plot by them switching bodies, other than that they can do it, and they do it at will. But the fact that they do it, like, it contributes nothing. It's not even used in an interesting way. The most interesting way that it's used is when the very beginning, when the guy's like complaining about how driving a car is like riding some kind of slimy horse or some shit. But like, even that you have no frame of context to, because it's just fucking what do they call it in Party Down? Fucking it's like sci-fi speak. It's like where you're just like saying like overtly scientific shit that just sounds smarter, but in reality it's just filler for absolutely nothing. So like, that's what you're doing, and on top of that, you're using it in a way where you've explained that they have this ability, but then further don't elaborate on like what that ability, can be utilized for, how you can, use that to your advantage. It just is like a completely underrepresented thing, and the fact that it exists is fucking annoying. I do not like that. I don't think it's smart writing. I think it's very dull, very fucking just, it's stupid. It's stupid. And the fact that it exists and it's not just like a 10-minute short film that you tried out, it's like, it just baffles me. Who the fuck threw money at this? Is this made, are you somebody's like nephew where you got to make this movie as like a Make-A-Wish thing? Like, I don't even fucking know. Out of Time is the name of the film. I give up on this one. This was a hard one to get through. I mean, thank fucking the reason I might not be fucking doing real well on this one is because like I think I had to pause it like 6 times to go get more high, because I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. This movie is not good. I remember when they, at least like if they were going to try for something, like the people at least gave a shit. Nowadays, it's like the actors are so cheap and indistinguishable and disposable that you're like, oh yeah, just give us like I didn't there's a gag in this film that I didn't realize was a fucking gag. There's a part where they are tracking the one alien chases, like he switches bodies or whatever, so he's in a chick's body now, and the guy at the weird store is like, oh yeah, it's a hot chick, I wonder what, something about sexual innuendo, X-Files, whatever. Yeah, so he says that, and then they kind of get like a fuzzy, like off camera, like glimpse of her. So they get in a car and realize she's on foot. So they try running around the neighborhood to see which way she went, catch her. And there's like a lady that's just fat, and they pull up to her and think that she's carrying a radio, but no, she's just got a gut. And that's the joke. But I didn't realize that was the joke. I was just like, yeah, she's like a little fatter than I expected. Where's the radio? Like, maybe she's stashing it. And like, I didn't realize that was the joke until like moments ago. This film is horrible. Out of Time. Please watch it. And try not to hurl a brick through your fucking television set. Thank you for listening. We'll come back with something better next time.